Welcome one and all to the Gaming Codex, the show where we delve into the true meaning of all the various terms used to describe video games and the video game industry. And today's term is a bit incomplete, if you will. It is beta. And what exactly would a beta be when referring to video games? Well, the general definition as found on the site called Tech Terms would be the beta software refers to computer software that is undergoing testing and has not yet been officially released. The beta phase follows the alpha phase but precedes the final version, and to that we can add that a beta release is generally feature complete, meaning that most times, not always, everything that should be in the final version is in this beta version, along with a bunch of bugs that need to be ironed out. Beta is a bit of a meaningless term nowadays, if you will, because everybody uses it for just about everything. We've had software that's been in perpetual beta ever since the internet came out. Just as Google, everything of theirs is still in beta. But in video games, we used to have more, well, for a while we used to have more clearly defined testing phases. Beta being the last one, and it would be usually held with the express purpose of finding bugs that need to be squashed out before the final version is made and released. People sometimes confuse it for alpha because, well, the terms are kind of used interchangeable by some developers, especially on Steam Greenlight and Steam Early Access, where they call something a beta, or MMOs, stuff like that MMO made by Red 5 that started out like a good idea but turned out to be a massive failure because they had no idea what they were doing. Firefall was the name. Games that clearly are not even halfway to being feature complete, but somehow are being called betas instead of alphas or pre-alphas as they should be called. A good positive example of this would be Star Citizen. It's been playable for years now, but it's still called an alpha because that's what it is. It's not all there yet. When you get the beta, there is a certain expectation that now you're at the tail end of the testing phase. Underline testing phase, not development phase. So there's an expectation for the game to be almost done, which it often isn't. Now, what is the popular definition of beta? Well, that would be a demo. While smaller developers and indie developers and everybody that publishes things on Steam Early Access will call anything a beta, even just getting the engine to type out hello world, the audience nowadays has different expectation because of the way in which big companies treat the concept of the beta phase. Namely, the last portion of the beta phase usually comes in the form of a big open beta to which everybody can participate and play that new $60 game for free for a couple of days and maybe answer some questions to a test, but usually not. It's a demo to them. People see this as a demo, and every time they actually see bugs in the beta version, they will say, well, it's a skrill, the game isn't done, it's not ready, I'm not gonna buy it. Oh my god, how can they release something like this without properly testing it like in some sort of beta test? Oh yeah, this is what we're doing now. But yeah, there's the expectation that the beta test will absolutely reflect 100% the final product. And that's kind of wrong. There have been games that suffered a lot because of this. One of them was Tabula Rasa that launched in beta as a beta test that actually required people to, submit bug reports and test out features, whereas a lot of people believe that, well, this is the final version, it's not going to get any better. It did. They did fix a bunch of bugs after the beta ended. Not that that helped the game a lot because it still died. So what would be the marketing definition of a beta then? Well, it's still a demo. It's absolutely a demo. The big companies do not believe in the concept of beta testing. They release a demo, pretend they're taking notes to, patch things, release the game 2 days later without any changes, and bam, there it is. The final game, just like the beta version. Because let's face it, they're not going to have time to actually work on a patch, properly test it, properly verify it, to do everything possible to make sure it works right in a week. before launch. You know, when the game's already on a disc. Well, when the game's already been on a disc for 2 months. It's already in stores. It's already being played by reviewers. That's the final version of the game. You're playing a demo. Especially when it comes to multiplayer games, you're playing a demo, the final version of the game. There will be very little different in the final version, unless we're talking about Ubisoft, in which case the demo version, the beta demo version, is actually sometimes better than the final version. Like, remember the crew having actual damage to your vehicles? Yeah, that was a thing. And even Rainbow Six Siege had that thing at the end that showed you who shot first, who died where, you know, informative stuff that would enable you to blame people later on their performance. So closes another chapter of the Gaming Codex. Come back next time when we will talk about some other new term that relates to the video games industry. Goodbye.